So I had done a video yesterday or the day before about the tapestry in New York, Donald Trump's New York penthouse on the ceiling. And I don't know if this is the New York one. I guess I was thinking it was Mar-a-Lago, but it may be New York. Maybe, I think it is. So it's this whole like French cherubims and very much Apollo. So many people say it's the Greek mythology gods. So I don't believe that the Greek mythology gods were myth. Only because the Romans took those on. That's always what's happened when you go back. Because when I started looking into all of this, the spiritual aspect of it, like 5 years ago, you know, I looked at Rome. Then I'm like, okay, where did they get it? That takes you back to Greek mythology. That'll keep taking you back all the way to Pharaoh. Okay, so I don't think it's a myth. Okay, at that time during, you know, the Greek gods, I don't think they were all. I had wondered this. I'm like, because the people had no way to know that they shouldn't be worshiping multiple gods. How would they know? They wouldn't have known. So, since God is active in His creation, and likely in His creation as someone, He could have been Apollo. Because when you look into Apollo, that would be, if God was going to be anybody, that's who He would be. So, and this is interesting, and I'll get to that at the end of this, why I'm bringing this up again. So Apollo is considered a powerful name because it carries thousands of years of association with light, truth, divine power, and ideal human excellence rooted in both myth and symbol. The name originates from the Greek god Apollo, one of the most revered and multifaceted deities of antiquity, embodying music, prophecy, healing, light, and purity. Apollo represented the harmony between intellect, beauty, and discipline. He was the god of light and the sun, symbolizing enlightenment and clarity, and also the god of prophecy at Delphi, where he was said to speak through the oracle, embodying divine truth and foresight. So, you know, there was no Holy Spirit then. This could be. It's just guessing, but since God is most definitely in His creation, if He was going to take some, you know, it would be Apollo. This made his name synonymous with wisdom, inspiration, and rational order. Apollo's nature combined both nurture and destruction. He could bring healing and music, but also send plague and punishment with his arrows. The duality made him a symbol of balance and divine justice, one who protects and purifies, yet also enforces cosmic order. Again, this is all this would have been during a time when people thought it was okay to have all these different gods. And yet, many of those gods, not being good ones, in my opinion, would be the fallen angel ones. So God would be in His creation dealing with, do you see does that make sense? Obviously obviously there's nowhere in the Bible that says God was Apollo. I'm just saying, again, He created all of it to, you know, be a part of His creation. I don't think He just sits on a throne and waits till one day He decides. I think He takes on certain, and I think the people in history He would take on are the ones that are most powerful, that He would be anyway. The Oracle of Delphi was fundamentally linked to Apollo's authority because it was believed to be the very place where he communicated his divine will to humanity. Delphi was his sacred sanctuary established after he conquered the serpent, Python, to claim the site as his own, symbolizing his triumph over chaos and darkness to become the god of prophecy and order. According to ancient Greek mythology, the oracle site originally belonged to Gaia, the earth goddess, and was guarded by the serpent Python. Apollo slew Python and took over the oracle, transforming it into his temple. This victory represented his divine right to preside over prophecy and truth, linking the power of foresight directly to his identity as a God of sight, of light and wisdom. So in Trump Tower, he has this whole, it's so hard to get a really good picture of it, but he has, all these horses and chariots and definitely it's, the penthouse ceiling includes a painted scene of Apollo crossing the sky in his chariot, clearly positioning Apollo as an emblem of strength and divine authority. This symbolism reflects Donald Trump's possible personal identification with Apollo. This symbolism, I just read that. And then it just goes on to talk about the penthouse. And here's you could see the horses here. But it's very detailed, obviously. And here's another picture. Like it's a whole life playing out or something. And obviously he has, this is two angels dancing, and obviously that's a picture of his dad. And this box right here, when I zoom in on it, this is like the fighter, with his arms up. And it's like some drawing on there. So think Apollo Creed. Yeah. But people have said he's likes to decorate, obviously, with Greek mythology. So, one of the things when I first started looking into, how did Rome get their gods, and it goes back, is that, thinking about it, because I look at everything through the biblical perspective, these would have been people that didn't think anything was wrong with worshiping these different gods. How would they know better? Now, obviously, when Jesus came, God no longer wanted all these gods. But back then, clearly, maybe, we don't know. Maybe that God took on the role of Apollo to help have some order. Honestly, I'm just guessing. And why am I bringing this up? Well, because I just did a video the other day, day before yesterday, about this tapestry in Trump Tower. And how it's all, around Apollo, and, that how God is in his creation. So I said it in my last video that God gave me a sign yesterday of, I explained it in the other video, like a definite, like, this is the difference. This, okay, got it. But then today that was when I was on my walk yesterday. Well, then today when I was on my walk, all of a sudden another dog, but a smaller one, comes running out, but he has a broken leg, front leg, and it's all casted up in purple. He's a cute little thing, little terrier. He's bouncing around, but he has this broken leg. And his owners were with him, and I'm like, oh, so cute. And he was hit by a car like 3 weeks ago, but you wouldn't have known it. And he's just, adapted, because he can't, that leg is just casted from like, all the way to his body to almost his foot. But he's the happiest go-lucky little dog there can be. And so I said, oh, what's his name? Apollo. Like, okay, got it, God. Okay, yeah. His name was Apollo. Yeah. So yesterday, a black and white dog that was way bigger trying to attack me, but that was God was showing me something with that. And then today, a little black and white dog too, but much friendlier, with a broken leg, and he was named Apollo. It was God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening, President Donald Trump. That's for sure. God is actively working in his creation, more than people know.